not to, yes? Not to. So most things, when you want to learn a topic, you study the topic. But in this case, when you want to find out about what you are, you study what you're not. Yeah. Yeah.
Why is there such a loud sound of this water?
I think it's his, is that your wind chimes?
No, that's my, well,
Could
it's
be the website.
That's my water fountain also.
Could be somebody's playing the website. I'm muting people individually, so.
We're trying to do a lot of subliminal messaging. So chimes, water fountain.
If
yes.
she logged in from the website, she might still have the music from the website.
Oh, yeah.
That's what happened, and I just shut it.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Thanks,
So
Gary.
I can open the door again. Uh-huh. That's good.
Okay, and everybody's muted now.
Oh, cool. Well, again, you know, the premise, if you read people like Ramana Maharshi and stuff, is that being ourselves reality. Yeah. So that's the basic premise of non-duality. And therefore, why negation is the direction is because of just that. Yes. Being ourselves reality. Obviously, that doesn't seem to be obvious. So what's causing it not to be obvious is what gets negated, yes? And not so much the activity, but the one that's implied by the claiming of all the activities, yeah? So thinking is used to imply a thinker, feeling, feeler, seeing, seer, yes? So there's just nothing gets left alone. The seeing gets claimed by the mental activity, and then the emphasis goes right to the seer, yes? And so the seer, seen, obviously would be subject. The subject would be the seer in that case, and the object would be the seen, yeah? But at the same time, the object believes it's a subject, and it's seeing this subject as a seen, as an object, yes? In the exact same event. So there was a great Zen master, Huang Po, that cleared it up pretty well. He says, whatever can be perceived cannot be perceiving. Yeah. So the seer believes it's the seeing. Yeah. It believes it's doing consciousness, or I'm conscious. And that I is pictured as a body. Yeah. And then that body and that brain, whatever, has a quality called consciousness. But first and foremost is the body brain. Yeah. So I'm conscious. So in that case, there's the feeling of being the subject. Yes. So that would be the feeling of the perceiving. I'm perceiving that other person. Yes. But at that same moment, that other person sees me, the perceiving, as a perceived. Yeah. And Huang Po uses this by saying whatever can be perceived cannot be perceiving. Beautiful, yeah, it's a very beautiful negation. So the feeling of being the perceiving is claimed, and it's inferred to a body condition, yeah? So I, Paul, am the perceiver, yes? But if Paul can be perceived, it cannot be that which is perceiving from Huang Po's point of view, yeah? It's beautiful, eh? So it just negates the whole narrative that we listen to most of the time. Because most of the narrative, instead of the non-duality premise, which is being ourselves reality, yeah, the reality is being ourself, yeah. I'm the reality, yes. You see how ass backwards it is? It's incredibly different. So most people come to talks, knowing it or not knowing it, and something is there when they're here, and that something, let's say, call it a mental activity, is claiming to be the hearer of the satsang, yes? The hearer of the satsang neuters the message of satsang. The hearing of satsang has value, yeah? The hearer of satsang is already neutered it in a way, yes? You see, because now that which was perceiving the message is now seen as something that can be perceived. Yes? So the whole point of these talks, because what happened is there's a famous old story about I'm not going to go into it because people have heard it many times here, but the old lion sheep thing. And then there's that young lion, you've heard that, yes? And the young lion, the mother dies, it doesn't know what it is, it lives as if it's a sheep. It meets an old lion, the old lion brings it to the water hole, puts both their heads over the water. The water is calm and stuff, so it reflects and it sees what? It sees it's a lion. Yeah. So basically, what happens when it leaves the old lion and it leaves that waterfall and it's not getting that clear reflection anymore? In a second or two, the mental state kicks in as the sheep programming and claims to have just had an incredible experience of being a lion. Yeah. Unbeknownst to the lion, it's now living as if it's a sheep again. Yes. I didn't see that when I first went to satsang. Then I saw it, and I've never not seen it ever since. Yes. And from seeing it, I have found myself in a seat assignment such as tonight, and my pay scale ends right there. Because if you don't see this mental activity, you're going to be looking from it. Yeah. It's so quick, you can't process yourself out of that process because it will be a process that happens before any other application of another process. And while your ass is sinking to the meditation cushion, it has you as the meditator already. Yes. So now you are the perceived, the perceiving meditation. Yes. Which is bogus. It's just bogus. So what happens with non-duality, I feel, if you come to the satsangs, you're not going to get a new understanding. You're going to have a negation of the old understandings, really. Yeah. It's sort of like the story of the guy with Ramana again, his foot's hurting, then he finally stops and he looks and he has a thorn in his foot. Yeah. So he looks around the road and he finds another thorn and he uses the one thorn to get the other thorn out. It doesn't replace the one thorn with the other. He throws both of them away. So in a way, this is what the message is like. The message is to get out the thorn, yeah, not to replace it with a new understanding, yeah, but to throw both of them away because you are what you're looking for. Being ourselves reality. The seeker is the sought. Now, if that's not true for you, that's fine. But then, and you're adamant about that, you're at the wrong store because non-duality is about nothing. Yeah, because you're everything already. And there's no belief in that everything needs something to arrive at where it already is. So nothing is given really. That's why in Zen Bitch Slap, when we go on tours, we bring t-shirts and shit like that because we got to give people something. But basically the message, you're going to get nothing because you're it. There's nothing missing, nothing lacking at all. It's just what we think about. Yeah. And it's not even our thoughts. Yeah. We get beholden to misunderstandings because they're presented out as ours. Yeah. And some of us will fight to the death to defend our understandings when they're not. They come about by a myopic view called self-centeredness. Yeah. They come about from ignorance in a way. And so without the questioning of the basic format, applying new formats to the basic format's going to override the new formats. Yeah. In other words, the new formats are going to be tailored to fit the old format. Yeah. So why would you call in a spiritual path when only a body takes a path? Yeah. Does a spirit go on a path? Of course not. It doesn't have feet to step and then step and step, obviously. It's not of a body. It's not. So the spiritual path is of a body in a way. Yeah. And to get to the top of the mountain, what's going to get there? If everywhere is everywhere, it's at the top of the mountain already. It's an idea that we're a body somewhere else and we're going to do all this stuff to arrive at the top of the mountain. But when we truly arrive at the top of the mountain tells us it's always been this way. Yeah. When do we get it? Yeah. Who knows? Give up. You know, the idea of getting it. What's wanting to get it really, really will probably lose it. Yeah. Because you are it. Yeah. When you make it something else, something that's readily available at all times now becomes unique, demanding tons of maintenance when we give it the meaning. But the meaning is being ourselves reality. The greatest mystery is reality, being us, wanting to attain reality. Haven't we been the unfolding of that mystery in this life? Haven't we? Haven't I tried to get out of self as self? How did I try to get out of an imaginary place, believing it was real and wanting to escape? The wanting to escape gave the reality to it. Yeah. Who would have known? Who would have known that there's a presupposing of a non-existent thing, let's say the body being what? Existing. And then the body wants to get salvation for itself. If that's the case, and obviously how Ramana presented it in all the people who wrote about his teachings, this is always in them. He says it in different ways, but it's usually prefaced with the greatest mystery, the problem. So there's an emphasis. So basically, he's saying that's probably the case, that there's a presupposing of a non-existent thing being existing, and that's when our life starts. We believe the non-existent thing is what's existing. We don't see it as a glove. We think it's the hand. Yeah. So here it is. So there's that we start there. And if we start there, our spiritual practices themselves are reinforcing the non-existent thing. What are they reinforcing? You can't reinforce a non-existent thing. You're reinforcing it as an existent thing called you. Yeah. So your spiritual practices themselves will be reinforcing this non-existent thing. How can they destroy it? They're actually giving it life. Now, I didn't know this, but I came to know it. Yeah. And when it was revealed, I really, really knew it. I was just going to buy some yoga pants that day. Something happened. It dried up so fast, I couldn't blame it on climate change. It was just mind change. It just shrunk it. And I've never looked for what I can't find ever again. It's pretty good. Yeah. And I don't feel embarrassed in our own platforms, and there's no one to feel embarrassed. But sometimes if I get invited to some place and there's like a spiritual engine humming there, I feel like, I got like 0.00 signs of spirit in my blood. I have no interest in it whatsoever. I think that's a successful condition, really. That something is finally put to rest. Yeah. And then the beauty of it is I've been trying to get out of here since I was 6 years old, I would say. For some reason or another, there was a certain irritable restlessness and discontent that fueled a lot of mental fires and emotional fires. And I wanted out, yeah, through drugs, through whatever method, through demonstrations, Kundalini, shit like that, whatever it is, just get me out of here. I finally realized the great wisdom of no escape. You can't escape from an imaginary place. This isn't real. These are appearances. Yes. This is sort of like the thing with Plato, where the people are facing the wall and they're watching the shadows as if it's the real thing. They never entertain the idea of looking back and seeing what the hell's going on. Yeah. This is how ass backwards it is, in a way, I feel. Yeah. So, and it fundamentally gets to this, which is, in most cases, at some point, usually in the beginning of the search, you're looking for what you are from what you're not. Yeah. And so all the looking for what you are is reinforcing what you're not. Another way of saying what Ramana said. Yeah. Then suddenly corrections occur. And now you're looking at what you're not, looking for what you are from what you are. Yeah. And you have a damn good laugh, really. And you'll probably have a lot of damn good laughs, because it doesn't learn. It just keeps on keeping on. And if you're hoping it's going to be a service animal on your whatever transcendence, or a sidekick or something, it ain't. It has its level, and it only sees what it can see because it's programmed. Yeah, it has a defined limitation, and basically, when it's walking around, it believes it has free will. You can talk as much as you like to it, and maybe it will agree with you, but when it goes into Baskin and Robbins, and it went in thinking it was going to order mocha and then switches and says coffee, it has just wiped out the 2 weeks of no free will retreat. Yes? Because, and as Ramana explained it, he said, as long as there's a sense of individuality, there'll be a sense of free will. It's not, he didn't say there'll be free will. He says there'll be a sense of free will. So the action figure has a sense of free will. Why the hell waste time trying to change that? Yeah. You don't have to know as the action figure. You can know the action figure. Yeah. You don't have to know life as it or from it. You can know about it. Yeah. Because you're not that. Yeah. And really, it's the greatest day for the body when your idea of being everything and the alpha and the omega in the center of the universe, for the poor body, which can't handle that fucking responsibility, when it's lifted, the body does a lot better. It may even get healed from a lot of psycho fucking shit going on. So that's it. So we just share about what we're not. Yeah. What happened with me, a lot of things happened, and then a lot of reverse engineering occurred. So I started to travel lighter, and I had relief without doing anything. Yeah. So from that relief, it reverse engineered and told me why I didn't seem to have relief before. Yeah. Yes. And you could see this activity of this process of the mental activity, which is of time. It needs time to do what it wants to do. And its movement is to claim what's happening. Yeah. So what's seen, it says the seeing implies there's a seer, the thinking implies there's a thinker. And then suddenly, even if you look at it that way, you would think thinking was first, then the idea of thinker was second. But the head presupposes the thinker before the thoughts. Yeah. And now you believe you're the thinker. before all thoughts. And you believe you're the feeler. Even though people have this experience, they call me up and say, I didn't want to feel it. So there was a feeling of something, and then their head as the feeler showed up, assuming it should have some power over shit, but it doesn't, because it's not before shit, it's after. So I didn't want to feel that, but you felt it. Why do you need to read 500 pages of books? Just see these. See, that which is after is implied to be before. For that to take root, there has to be an act of denial of what's before. If you're going to substitute what's before with you, there's got to be a denial of what's before. Yeah. This is a dualistic movement. So when there's like the Course in Miracles said, Course in Miracles says, being firm in faith in this something else that we have made to be ourselves is the act of denial of what we are. What? Most people, if you stopped them now and said, hey, bro, you're in the active denial of what you are, they would go, what the hell? I've been thinking about me all day. I'm constantly affirming me. No, but in fact, that me isn't me. Yeah. So in a way, you're denying what you are by being identified as what you're not. Yeah. How's that going to work out? The only thing that can show you is that it's failed. That's its great value. So you don't wait another second. Yeah. You don't expect to have to jump another hurdle to arrive at where you already are. Yeah. It's a very disarming message. There's a stopping that you won't be able to compare to any other time you thought you stopped. Because this stopping, it's almost as if the house goes out in one light. In this way, the light goes out in the whole neighborhood. Yes. There's a stopping that allows a lot of movement. It's not an opposite of movement. There's a stopping or a stillness that allows everything else. Yeah. But now you never get gypped. You're here all the time. Yeah. Sleeping, awake, drowsy, alert. Yeah. Wearing pants, not wearing pants. And how it translates to this experience is you travel lighter as Paul. Yeah. By being not Paul, really. And what more do you want as this action figure other than, traveling lighter is a damn good deal, because it can't promote traveling lighter. That would promote more heaviness. Yeah, that's what happens. Look at what happens. People get so freaking serious about their spiritual condition as a physical, mental condition. Yeah, it's like, Jesus Christ, they got a big stick up their ass. Yeah. So here, this is the simple invitation. People find that it works. They come back, and lo and behold, their faces change. They start smiling. They start laughing. The seriousness, mental seriousness isn't earnestness. It doesn't work. It's not willingness. It's just an obsession with self, really. Yeah. I remember I was with a lovely lady, and I was busy doing my practices, and she'd want to go maybe, get into amore, go horizontal. I'm going, no, be gone, woman. Stop tempting me. I have to do my, Jesus Christ. I mean, life just brought a voluptuous character to my door, and I said no to the delivery because I was busy getting somewhere. Yes, freaking, it's insane. So, and people believe, there's drug addiction and food addiction, but there's spiritual addiction. Addiction appears in really, whatever vehicle's in the parking lot, it'll get in. Yeah, the addictive nature of the mental state. And I've seen it in spirituality, big time. And unfortunately, in spirituality, no one's going to break in and intervene on you. Yeah. They're not going to walk around and say, hey, you've been meditating too much. Just get the fuck up and go help someone else. You know what I mean? Whatever. That's probably not going to happen. You know, just go on and on and on. Yeah. So thanks, everyone. Anybody have anything they like to share tonight or say or whatever? Mike, have you found a firefly?
Oh yeah, lots. Yeah.
Oh, you have?
Yes, they go well with the wind chimes.
Oh, good. Good. It should be coordinated, yeah?
Yeah, they like it. They're enjoying it.
All right. Well, did anyone else have anything to say?
Stuart and then Junkie.
What do you got on your head there, Mike? It's
Oh, there's also a lot of mosquitoes here.
that attracts the fireflies. That head thing. Yeah.
The mosquitoes go right for my ears, so my ears are covered.
All right.
So, Stuart, you want to go ahead?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, it's like I got earphones on, which is sort of weird. It's like doing my head in. But anyway, but where I am, I've just been listening to you, Paul, and it's been wonderful as usual. And a bird sort of just flew outside where I'm staying at the moment and it's just perched in front of me there. And it's just like the beauty of the bird, you know. It's like there was something else seeing that bird and appreciating that bird and how beautiful it was. And it's not my usual vision. Usually I don't, you know, sort of, oh, it's a bird, it's a bird, it's a bird. But it just sitting here, just appreciating how gorgeous it was. I'm sure it was picking up in that and enjoying it because it didn't want to move, you know. It was like just there. So it's basically a free sample. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, so that was all. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks.
That's
Thanks, Stuart.
Those are the nuggets. Those are the nuggets that are found while traveling lighter. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't step over them. You stop. Yeah.
Yeah, and it feels like this. It feels like to me it's something else that has that vision. It's not me.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. Yeah.
Yeah, coming through, I think.
Yeah, whatever. Just stay in that I don't know area. It's good.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I can add. Oops. Sorry, did I cut you off?
The bird wasn't giving you any name, eh, Stuart?
Yeah. Anyone? Sorry.
Wasn't giving you any name. The bird.
No. No.
Yeah. Treat them.
Yeah.
Treat them the same.
Yeah. 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 It's sort of beautiful. It is. Yeah. It's like yeah. When I'm not around, it's great. Yeah.
Yes. Exactly. Yes.
And I can add that I can enjoy nature more now because then I can be okay seeing, you know, that ugly bird that says, oh, you don't enjoy nature enough, because I'll feel like I'm supposed to enjoy the birds and the fireflies and all that.
Yeah.
You know, and then I used to just like stay at home because it didn't do it for me. But now it's a little bit easier.
With that hat, Mike, you could blend in pretty well, you know.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
So thank you, Stuart.
I think you should match it with a jumpsuit there, Mike.
What?
A whole jumpsuit with a white belt would be nice.
I'm gonna get me a bug hat, a real one. So, you ready, Junkie? You ready for Junkie?
Oh yes.
Okay.
It's so funny how you say my name. It makes me laugh.
Why? How's it said?
You actually say it like it's junkie, but it's actually Janki.
Oh, in my mind, I'm saying Yankee, so I think Paul threw me off. Sorry.
That's a good laugh. Okay, so Paul, thank you for your preamble, for your beginning comments. And I'm definitely not traveling light, even though the desire to travel light has been there for decades, but it hasn't happened. And so I understand what you're saying about the negation, that you can only negate. So this mind-body thing that we always think that we are, that we are not. Ramana said that you have to do a practice of like, who am I or something until you no longer think that you're the thoughts, or the mind dissolves or something happens. And fortunately or unfortunately, I have not been able to establish myself in any practice, no meditation, nothing. I've kind of chastised myself a lot for that. Why can't I meditate like the others do? I just haven't been able to. And so now I'm at this point, forget it. I'm not even going to try to meditate. Let it be. It's not my thing. But the thing that's kind of like, okay, until, like you're saying, that this can happen in a moment, this negation, this seeing that I am not who I think I am. I'm not this thinker, perceiver, all that can happen in a moment. But why doesn't it happen?
Well, in fact, it may seem to happen in a moment, but it is the whole moment. So waiting for it to happen is one of the ways you miss it. Yes. If something is always happening, can you say that it happens?
No, but I feel like this, I don't know how to get rid of the obstruction. Should I just completely stop thinking
Right.
about
You
any
can't
of this?
get rid of the obstruction. That wanting to get rid of the obstruction is the obstruction. It throws you in a wild goose chase. I've got to get rid of the obstruction. No, that's the obstruction. Yeah. Yeah. The ones that's sitting there making the plan to be unobstructed is the obstruction. That's the act of it. Yeah.
So is it just the dropping of everything? Just no thoughts about getting anywhere, nothing.
No, there's thoughts, but they're not yours. Yeah. Yes. There's a loss of interest. That's what it is, I feel. Right now, what's making everything seem real is the degree of interest put in it. Yes? So the degree of interest is extreme, especially when it's put into what's actually not happening for it to appear to be happening. That's a lot of interest and attention. Yeah? We call it self-centeredness or whatever, but there's a feeling of you see everything as how it pertains to you. That would be self-centeredness, and you're not that you. So let's just tell the truth about that. And then that, right, that we're not, can't lose interest in itself. That would be more interest in itself. Yes? So you realize the futility of trying to get out finally opens you to the possibility you are not in. You are not in. Yes. So this isn't like a successful escape. It's the wisdom of no escape. You just realize shit. And I feel satsang is a pretty good catalyst for that, because that's how it happened with me. I did a lot of things. I started to go to satsang and I stopped doing a lot of things. Yeah. And then in the satsangs, things that probably had already fallen were seen to have already fallen. Instead of working on pushing them over, I realized I am what I'm looking for. So the looking for it stopped. Let's put it that way. Yes? Yes. So this was the vehicle that seemed to allow something to stabilize here as best as it can. And a lot of houses of cards fell just at satsang. So here we are, using the same vehicle and having faith in it. Yeah, because I have faith in the fact that we are reality. I have faith in the fact that we're not of time. I have faith in the fact that this is not a fact place. This is dreaming. Yeah,
Oh,
I have faith in those.
you have faith, but it's not a knowing. Is it faith?
It's faith, yes. It's not I have faith, there's faith in it, yes. Yeah. There's faith in it, and then the action figure begrudgingly ended up there, being convinced. But there was no one who has the faith. There's faith in what I heard, yes. Yeah, I was convinced, let's say. Yes, like we have in recovery, we have some statements that if there's any requirement is to be convinced of. And one of them is any life run on self will hardly be a success. Yes, being convinced self manifested in various ways is what has defeated us. Yes, these are always preceded by the statement being convinced, which means it's a present tense state. Yeah, it's not like you were convinced and you're going to be convinced. You're in a present tense state of being convinced. Yeah? So that which is revealing itself at all times has me in a state of being convinced quite a lot about the futility of using what I'm not to find what I am. Yeah.
I would
And
able to.
using that which thinks it's obstructed to clear the obstructions, all the while being the obstruction. What happens in a way is we're used to an aperture. Like, yeah, I used to use this. I have to get to show you. So here Paul was in established position, yes? And he'd have realizations and big openings, but Paul stayed the same. Paul was before all the openings and everything. Non-duality was more like this, yeah? So the Paul that thought it was having all the realizations was seen not to be Paul. That was not the apertures moving this way, they were moving back, yeah? So you're coming out of time back into something else, and then you see what you're not, that you used to call you all day. Yeah? Yeah. I mean, something that's totally incomprehensible. How could you have a plan for it? You probably drive over it on the pursuit of getting there because you wouldn't know. You wouldn't have the eyes to see. Yeah? So there's that surrender in a way. You hear satsang and it brings you to a dead end, which is the beginning of everything, really. And then there's a stopping, like maybe stopping asking questions, or there's another stopping, or whatever. And some things that were denied and put off and avoided, and the elephant in the room, they just fucking put more curtains up, whatever. Yeah. Something was revealed like a rude awakening. You're not going to get it. Yeah. This story that you think is all about you ain't. Yeah. You're a bit little player in a giant, giant epic instead of a B-star movie. Yeah. Yeah. And it's really true. Like, life without Paul is, is a book that writes itself day to day. Yes. Life with Paul is the same old fucking same old. Yes. Yeah. Hoping and hoping and hoping against all odds instead of recognizing. Yeah. What's there that sees so clearly when you're depressed and can give an incredible lucid description of deep depression is the clarity that's before everything. It's awareness that's before everything. Yes. We are of that. It's not a big deal. We are just, it's a fact. We are of that. You want to be the Johnny that comes lately that says it's always before, go ahead as the head. Yeah. But if you've had enough, or maybe you don't, now you're just learning you've had enough. I mean, what happens when a system fails you, like spirituality? Who gets to be blamed first? You do. You really. It's you didn't do enough. You need to do more. You should have kept your lips on the foot longer. You should have walked more than 108 times around the statue. Somehow it's always about you. Yeah. And so finally, there's a point that you realize you are blocking yourself off from reality. Yes. So now the mental logic can come only to one conclusion. I have to be destroyed for me to attain reality, that doesn't sound like a fucking great deal. I think I'm going to drag my feet for lifetimes because you're getting two messages. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I like the idea of reality, but I must be completely destroyed. This has nothing to do with martyrdom and sacrifice and the death of anything. It's just a loss of interest in all the dramatic fucking, spaghetti thrown at the walls, see what sticks each day. Yeah, you just lose interest in a lot of shit. Yeah. And I'm sure you gain interest, but you don't even care about noting it. Yeah. You're just enjoying the gaining of interest. You don't, I'm noticing I'm gaining interest. Yeah, I don't follow the pulse of Paul Hedderman anymore. I don't. I don't know how I felt today. I don't, because I'm here now. I have no idea. I don't even know what happened pretty much. Yeah. I know it was very rarely, there wasn't a large accompanied, I wasn't accompanied by thought most of the day. That's fucking for sure. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't doing rocket science. I was doing like grinding a metal plate and using my hand to see if it was smooth yet. I didn't have to have like 30, mathematical equations. It was just simple. Yeah. I wasn't like that before. Man, I was a disturbed character since I was young. And I really wanted to get out of here. And I never did as much as I could have possibly done in spirituality, but I was 100% devoted to drug addiction. And so I would match my drug addiction devotion to Hanuman and all the other fucking great devotees in the spiritual books. I loved feeling shitty. I love getting a super rush and then putting up with hours and hours of extreme anxiety, because that's what cocaine is like. Yeah. And keep going back to it. Yeah. And even believing that I could probably overdose and maybe, just before the body was extinguished, I'd be free of self for a few seconds. And it seemed worth it to me, really. It did. Now, I had a lot of awakenings after all that about why I couldn't get out is I was never in what I thought I was. Yes. It's just that simple. And the idea that I can't get back is based on the fact that I could have left something I can't. So that whole dramatic returning to the Godhead is put off. And because I've never left. Yes. It just, I can't write a blog about my great journey back to the Godhead. It was no journey. You know what I mean? It was more like if you see that, if you ever read the New Testament, where they have a story about the prodigal son, and it's a guy who's well off, and then he believes he leaves his well off situation and starts fornicating and doing a lot of shit. And of course, his life starts spiraling, but he feels in a weird way he deserves it probably. And then he arrives at this day where he's in a pigsty wrestling pigs for a piece of corn, and he thinks about his father, yeah, and just at that point something snapped, and suddenly it goes right to the next scene, as if no time and nothing else ever happened. That he's on the road, meets his father. His father puts a big, beautiful ring on his thing, gives him some new clothes, and says, "Hey, son, we have a great feast waiting for you." Yeah, there's no, oh, he got out of the pigsty. No, it was right to the good part. Just written like, yeah. The whole story was based on his believing it. When he was willing, when it broke, everything that he couldn't believe could ever be available was readily available. He didn't have to jump through hoops. His father didn't make him do tons of shit. It was right there. Yeah. This is what it's like. Tell me when you get on a train of thought, when you stop, it's like you never left. You always dropped at the same station. Maybe you never got on the train, really. Maybe train is an imaginary, oh, I left. Oh, I got to get back. But you always are at the station, always. So there is some obviousness that's so obvious it's profound. Yeah, that's what's available at all times, right where we are. And need it doesn't need a chant of hallelujahs and rending of hair or something. It's just wow. Yeah. 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 So yes, the wanting to get out of the obstruction is the obstruction, you know. It's always that. See, when the aperture opens this way, yeah, it's different than when it opens this way, because there's more of you, the you that you're not, comes into focus this way. This way, there's still you sucking it all up, yeah, claiming it. This way, that you is seen, yeah. This is the non-duality opening. It doesn't go on this plane, it goes back, yeah. And you see what you used to look from. You see the activity of what you used to look from. Yeah. There's no speculation. The pants are pulled down. You see everything. Yeah. A lot's revealed. There you go. Maybe all at once, maybe over time. It doesn't freaking matter. It doesn't. Because when you get here, it's always been this way. So what's the fucking sweat? Yeah. I want to get it. So why? Why? Because when you get it, it just washes away all idea of time and informs you it's always been this way. So there was no dualistic. I lost the ring, I lost the necklace, and then I found the necklace. No, the necklace never left your neck. You just believed you lost it, yeah, and then you believe you can now find it. See, but the finding it is based on the belief you could lose it. Yeah. Yes. So if you want to achieve something, great. If you want to make a story that you're starting somewhere and you're going to achieve the highest point, but if that is true, you're also going to believe you can blow it. Yeah. And I bet you will think you did. You will think you did something to blow it. This is, you can't find it, but you can't lose it. It's pretty good. Yeah. 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 So, anyone else, bro? I was
Yes.
just
Thank you,
riffing on it.
Yankee. Angie. Hi, Angie.
Now,
Hi,
my
can
whole
you hear
life would have been different. Hold on a second, Angie. My whole life would have been different if I knocked on the rehab door and instead of saying junkie, I said jonky. Jesus Christ, it changed my whole life. After 2 days, I tried to say, I was saying jonky, but they didn't believe me by then. All right. Angie, nice to see you. Come on in.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
So just along these same lines of, just all this drama and everything is readily available and the value of satsang. After yesterday's satsang, this thought popped into my mind about bodhisattvas from Buddhism. So these bodhisattvas, I haven't thought about Buddhism in a very long time, but somehow this thought popped into my head. These bodhisattvas are some kind of saints that take a vow to continue the cycle of rebirth until everyone is free of suffering. So they don't want to escape this cycle until everyone is free of suffering. And the thought came to my mind, like, how are they planning to do that? And the answer was simple. through their teachings. They're not the activists. They're not the researchers looking for a cure. They're not the psychiatrists. They're not the inventors. They're not the people going to Mars. They're not the businessmen. You know, they're not trying to solve hunger across the globe. So they're just teaching. That is how they want to end the suffering. So until everyone sees that it is just this, and you know, there's no drama around, then they will be free of suffering. It's not by addressing the perceived problems of this dual world. It's just by seeing rightly the way it is. That's how the suffering ends. It's not by solving world hunger or by finding the cure or by you know, finding a way to survive on other planets or you know.
Yes. You know,
So
Ramana would say, because people would talk about like saints or sages not seeming to be activists. But he would say, you think these people are just sitting down? They're doing so much shit. Not them, but what's using them is doing so much shit you can't imagine. Yeah. So it's not always through action that effects are produced. Yeah.
I mean, not that any of those roles, there's nothing wrong with them, and you know, they can continue, and you know, they will improve the life in this world. That's for sure. But they're not gonna bring the end of suffering. That is what this thought kind of told
Yes.
me. You know, so end of suffering is just knowing, you know, what is not true.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thanks, Angie.
Thanks, Angie. I was really stoked when I noticed in the Course in Miracles they use a phrasing, "Do not see anybody without the atonement." And you know, after recent years, I saw that was no different than the Bodhisattva vow, and of course, and similarly that it was the that was done by the one movement of seeing what I'm not. Then there's nobody else that is suffering, you know, as a definite person.
So that is the value of satsang, and just you know, hearing the message over and over.
Yeah, cool.
And
Yeah.
as you say, Paul, you know, we're dreaming ourselves out of the dream, and as we do so, the dream becomes happier.
Yes. And not, it's, I don't believe it means just for us, but it just gets happier. Yeah. Even if you don't, in a large scale and how the world's presented, it may not look that way, but there's some beautiful, very intimate moments quite a lot. Yeah. 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 So it says the dream will get happier. It doesn't mean specifically for you. It's the dream. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Like, if you see yourself as everything else, everyone else, like you're not gonna have conflict because it's just me.
Well, yeah. There could be conflict still, but it won't be you. That's what takes the
Yeah.
interest out of it. Conflict is what happens here a lot of times. Conflict and then agreement. You know, it just goes on and on. It's a dualistic dance, right? You bump into someone and that sets up the next dance step. Yes, it just goes on that way. But the whole point is taking that sense that's manufactured, yeah, and instead of having it so taken to be galvanized, it's questioned, you know, and then there's a loss of interest in that, and from there a lot of everything else gets meaning. So yeah, so now the meaning that's been given to life changes. Yes. Yeah. So, and a lot of times it's like you're not writing a spiritual diary or a journal. Yes. You're not You know, there's a seamlessness of what's happening. It isn't like this was incredible and then, you know, it's just this a seamlessness. It's like when, you know, oh, that's what the Colorado River looked at like at 5:05. No, it's not like that. Yeah, it's just a movement. Yeah. So, yeah. Thanks. Anyone else?
No other hands. Anybody else want to jump in?
If what time is it? Where's the guy? He always likes me to do an hour.
James? I don't think he's here.
I've surpassed my hour by 2 minutes.
Yeah. Although you started at 3 after. Just kidding.
Oh, let's not bring that up. Yeah. Well, if you don't have anyone, I have an announcement for the people who have signed up for the retreat. Amelia next week on Wednesday night, but at 6 o'clock on our Zoom, is going to do a course just for easy Italian to get by when you're in Italy. Yes, learn a couple of things. The first word I want you to learn is donate. Yes, donate in Italian. Yes, and follow that up with action. So I think it's donare or something, but yeah, we'll spend a lot of time stressing that. No, learn, you know, like a little language, and it'll be great. Amelia's great. She's a master teacher of Italian. So that will be at 6 o'clock on Wednesday before this meeting, and through the same Zoom. Yeah.
And she said she would send an email. She said she would send an email Sunday or right after Sunday, so people that are already on going
all right, yeah,
should look in their emails for a reminder.
But that will be Wednesday, okay? And then the other announcements is we'll be back live back east. I think that's in the newsletter and it's on the website, I think, right? Yeah.
It's on the website.
Starting on June 24th, we'll be doing talks till for 5 days. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. One Friday, Saturday, Sunday will be in Dover, New Jersey, and then Monday will be in Doylestown, Pennsylvania, and Tuesday will be in Great Barrington, Massachusetts. And then Wednesday I'll be at an undisclosed location, so doing something else.
And you said the only one you're missing is Thursday recovery? Otherwise you're doing your 4 regulars?
The 23rd we will not do the recovery meeting. And then I think, and then the Tuesday Awakening Together we will not do. Everything else I think I'm going to pull off, but we'll see. I'll let you know when we get closer. All right? All right. So yeah, let me say goodbye to everyone. Mike, nice to see you. Yes. I like that. That hat is, yes. You look like, you know, when you go to court in England, you know, they wear those little hats.
Judge.
The judge and the lawyers or whatever they are, counsels. Yes.
With more color.
Yeah. A little bit, yeah. You may have been thrown out of the court. So, but yeah. All right, we got Bill Chamberlain, Churchman. I mean, I'm thinking basketball. Kerry, there he is. Kerry in Hawaii, get a message to Judith. Tell her all's well.
Yeah, she's here. She's just, yeah, she's here. I'll tell her.
Yeah. We got David S. from Oz. Always a pleasure. Nice to see you, Dave. Yeah. Kathleen, I'll be meeting you in Doylestown. Yes. We'll get there early in the day and we'll do whatever. We'll figure it out. We got Brandon, one of our great musicians that has stuff on the music channel of zenbitchlap.com. Yeah. We got Robert F. from Kiwi, my New Zealand friend. Always a pleasure, Robert. Stuart, another ASEAN. We got Mary G. She was, yes, she's been here for the whole marathon. There she goes. Got some numbers of a phone there.
That's Nick.
We got Tommy.
That's Nick.
Who's that?
Nick.
Oh, Nick.
Nick.
Oh, good. Oh, Nick. Oh,
Nick.
good. Hey, also, Mike, get Jack G to come to Great Barrington or something so we can see him.
Okay.
All right, if possible.
Yeah.
Tommy.
Yeah.
There we go. We got Craig May from Oz. Oh, he just disappeared. What happened there?
No, I see him. He's the one with
Craig
the
May.
clouds.
It's a very interesting picture. You look like the Undertaker coming to get me in my nightly nightmares.
I don't know what to say to them. Nice to see you anyway, Paul.
So, someone sent you. No, I can't hear him, Mike.
It's a little warbly.
All right, we got another Ozian, John W. Nice to see you, John. We got Gary C. Thank you, Gary, for all the support. Yes, I can see through you like a papaya, something like a, yeah, trippy. We've got, who's this? Brahmi. Yes, how are you, honey? Hanging in there?
I'm hanging in. I'm having a good day.
Oh, great. Well, that could be the beginning of many, so we'll see. Yeah? Yeah.
Yes.
We got Linda. We got James. We got Angie. Angie, nice to see you, honey. Thank you for yesterday and tonight. Alan, thank you for all the support and just being here. It's a pleasure. Anu. Always a pleasure, Anu. Stefan on having never left. Anish. Anish, yes. Anish may be joining Stefan on having never left. We'll have to see. There may be two ferrymen on this river. We got Alex. Nice to see you. Yes. Jacob from Seattle. Wow. He's on fire. Susanna W. A very important friend of mine. Let's see who else. Sue K, my latte lady. Maya. Maya, thank you for coming by, and yes. We'll talk soon. I'll see you Saturday, I guess. And I think that's it. If I missed you, I didn't really. So yeah. So that's it, I think. If you need to know anything about what's happening with Zen Bitch Slap, just go to the event page. If something's gonna happen, it'll be up there as soon as possible. So, yep. See you guys.
Thank you, Junkie.